Okay, come, you did a great job. Okay, come, you did a great job. So we have a music school and we teach young beginner students, and we would love for you to give some advice as to how they can continue learning their craft, some inspirational words. We'll start with Kelly.
Oh no.
Okay,
With Maestro.
okay, Maestro, come
Oh, I
on,
thought we
hit
were
it. are you today? Let's see. It's not Saturday, it's Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. All right. So you're probably wondering, why am I coming in the music room on a Friday when it's Saturday, right? Or I'm sorry, why am I when oh my goodness, let me start over. Why am I in the music room on a Friday and it's not Saturday? That's what I'm trying to say. It's been a long day. But let me say happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. I'm excited to be here again live in the music room. The reason why I'm not here on our Saturday, because we typically meet on Saturdays. Tomorrow I have I'm hanging out with my family. And so we're here today on Friday. I'm here today on Friday so that I could spend some time with my family. So that's just as important as being here with you. And so if you are new to the live in the music room, let me introduce myself. I am Miss Christine. And yes, this is live in the music room. And let me officially welcome everyone. If you're watching the replay, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is something that we're going to do every Saturday typically, but today is one of those off days. So if we can't come on Saturday, I'll come on Friday, depending on my schedule. And this is a place where we will talk about music theory, have artists come in, do a number of all arts education related topics, primarily music, but not just music. We're new to YouTube, so if you haven't joined or gave a like and subscribe, let me go ahead and ask you to please do that, okay? We really appreciate all the support. We're slowly building up. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers. I think we're at 325 or something like that. So please like and subscribe. If you already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and like. I will just wait a few seconds and let you please just hit the little like so we can continue to grow this amazing, loving, musical community. Okay? All right. So let's see who is in the classroom today. Let's see who's in the classroom today. It looks like Abdul is in the classroom. Now, Abdul, you started to say something like "I have," and I don't know what you were going to say. So let me know what were you going to say. All right, I'll give everyone a few minutes. I know this is a Friday, and I don't tend to come on Friday, so we'll see how many people join in. So let's see, Abdul. You can also let me know, Abdul, if you can hear me. Okay. All right. So want to make sure our audio is all set. Want to make sure you can hear me and see me. Okay. Because what can I say? Now, if you hear any background noise, there is work being done outside, and it's a lot of banging, and I'm not sure if it's going to come through. Excuse me, the live stream. So so let me know, okay? Oh, okay, you think that was a mistake. No worries. So now, how was everybody's week? Please tell me how your work week or your school week or whatever you did this week. Is there anything exciting going on? Abdul, did you see a concert? Did you sing karaoke with your cousin? We know how much you love Elvis, right? So tell me all about it. Tell me something musical that you've been up to this week, okay? And I'll share with you as students are coming in. This week, actually yesterday, I tried to live stream. If those of you who may remember, I went to see a jazz concert completely free in the park. And they have a jazz series. They call it a jazz trail series, where they go throughout the community and provide live
performances, okay, the genre of jazz. Now, you may like jazz, you may not like jazz, but it was a free performance. And I was so excited to live stream for you. And it got so windy. It was right on the beach. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And the stream was wonderful in terms of the video, but the audio picked up all the gust. And that's because I needed a particular windshield that they call a dead cat. Regrettably, they call it a dead cat. So I have some a little picture and some footage. You can let me know, Abdul, if you want to see it. And then uh, after the concert, had a chance to say hello to the trombone player, okay, Wycliffe, and his fantastic singer and keyboard player. So it was very exciting, and I was disappointed that we couldn't get the live stream because I wanted to discuss the music and everything. All right, so your week was great. You're exploring secondary dominance. Okay, all right. Well, you got a lot to explain there. Okay, so your week has been exploring. Okay, sounds like music theory. But I want to know about performance, Abdul. Have you seen any concerts? Have you collaborated with any artists, musicians? What are you doing performance wise, right? So even though we're talking about theory, and theory is very important, it's just as important as going out, listening to other musicians, and of course, even using and performing yourself, right? That is something that I have to work more towards. So it's a collective things, right? Okay. So let's see. Mobile Music is saying happy Friday. All right. Happy Friday, Mobile Music. And how was your week? How was your week? How is it going? Okay. Yes. So we were just talking about different musical events that we did or didn't do or desire to do, right, Abdul? I think last week you were doing karaoke, and I don't know if there was more that you wanted to share with me, but regarding, let's see, Abdul is coming in saying, no, you haven't seen concerts, but you want to try lyric baritone arias. Okay, okay, wow. Abdul, you are so rich with culture. I love it. Opera. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so it's so interesting that you talked about opera. Oh, you had a wonderful week too, Mobile Music, because there's another free concert. This one not so close and not easy to get to. And they're going to have a beautiful opera in the park. I don't know, Abdul, if you're familiar with the opera singer Latoya Morris, right? She's a 3-time Grammy singer, and she's going to be performing there. And I would like to, I would love to go, but I don't know the feasibility of bringing all of my gear and then setting up so I could live stream. It might be hard. But it's you know, Abdul, you seem to like a little bit of everything. You like 50s rock and roll, which is Elvis, and now you're talking about arias and operas and all kinds of wonderful musical pieces. And I love that about you, is that you're not just in a box, right? You're not just one thing. You like all music, and hopefully as music lovers, musicians, music students, we can appreciate all styles of music, right? Okay, no ma'am, I don't know her. Is she a soprano? She is a soprano, very much so. And maybe after class, I'll show you some video clips, highlights of her. She's a beautiful vocalist, soprano. And if I can go, I would obviously stream it, and so that everyone can appreciate her style. Yes, you like pop, R&B, and opera. Look at that, okay? Yes, I love it all too. Even if it's something that I was talking to someone earlier, I don't remember because there's been so much going on in the day. Oh, it was a hip hop concert, right? Now, I'm not a big like rap kind of person, right? I'm familiar with the genre and I know a couple of artists. I don't pretend to know everything. But even with some songs, or I should say genres, that I may not necessarily connect to artistically, um, I can still appreciate the musicality, right? Or the art form because it's just as important as something else that I really, really love because it's art. It's like looking at a painting and some things really gravitate and then others you're like, I don't get it. And then it allows you for a conversation so that you can start to use your mind and think critically. That's the one thing that I love. So you love country, soft rock. That's why I want to play lead guitar. Okay. All sounds great. Okay, so let's get to our lesson. Let me see. What is today's lesson? I've been ripping and running today. So today we're in Unit 4, Lesson 1, okay? Unit 4, Lesson 1. And what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about the repeat sign. We're going to be talking about the repeat sign. We're going to be talking about the repeat sign. Do you get it? Boom, boom, boom. I'm repeating myself because in music, sometimes we can consolidate the music by using a repeat sign. And we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to also talk about the first inning. And I'm not talking about baseball because I don't know that much about baseball, but I know they have innings. And then we're going to talk about the second inning, okay? And this is all related to music. So if you are ready to learn, come on and put it in the music, put it in the chat. I'm going to tell you to put it in the music room. Come on and put it in the chat if you are ready to learn. In fact, I will write, are you ready to learn? Okay. Are you ready to learn? Come on, Abdul. Come on, Mobile Music. And those of you who are watching, are you ready to learn? Are you ready to learn? That is my question to you. Put it in the chat so I know that you're ready. Okay. Are you ready to learn? Okay. All right. So once I see ready to learn, then I know we can move forward. Okay. All right. Okay. Good, good, good. Are you ready to learn? So look here. Mobile Music is ready to learn. Abdul, are you ready to learn? The rest of you, are you ready to learn? If you're watching the replay, are you ready to learn? Come on and put it in the chat or put it in the comments if you're watching. Okay, yes, Abdul is ready to learn. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's get our slides together. Hopefully we won't have any tech issues because, you know, that's kind of how it goes, okay? All right, so this is Unit 4, Lesson 1. We have the repeat sign and first and second innings, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, before I get into today's lesson, I want to do a quick review. Not too lengthy, okay? All right, okay, 2 for 1. Welcome and ready to learn. Thank you, 2 for 1. All right, we can always count on you. So my question is, in probably Unit 2, Lesson 3, we talked about this particular, how can I ask without giving the answer? What is this when we want to end a piece? We have to put something at the end of a piece of music. Can you tell me what the musical term is when we want the music to end? We want the music, that's it, no more singing, no more playing, stop, stop, stop. What do we put on the music? Do we put a stop sign, you know, with a red sign? What do we do there? That is my question. I'm trying not to give you the answer. Okay, so let's see. I think I hear the answers coming in. Yes, a double bar line. Okay, double bar line is absolutely correct. Oh, let's see if our sound effects are also working because, you know, I got to always test it out on you. Double bar line is the answer that I was looking for. Okay. So let's see.
Absolutely correct.
All right, I heard the sound effects. Did you? Okay, that was you're absolutely correct. It is a double bar line. That is what we put at the end of music. We don't put a stop sign and say, okay, everyone stop playing. We use these two lines. One is a single line, right? Single bar line, and then one is a thickened bar line. Okay, it's thicker than the first thin line. Both are bar lines, but they're double, meaning two. Okay, makes sense. Now, we're talking about the repeat sign. So this is what a repeat sign looks like. Notice that we have the single bar line and then our thick bar line, and it's a double bar line here, right? I tried to highlight. And then we have two dots, okay? All right, two dots. That's our repeat sign, okay? And you can tell me in the chat, how many of you have seen the repeat sign? Is this new? Have you seen it before? You know, let me know. Is this new? Have you seen a repeat sign before? Let me know, okay? But this is what a repeat sign looks like. You have the double bar line, and then you have your two dots, okay? All right, and as I mentioned, the two dots are placed before the double bar line, okay? It indicates the repeat sign. So that's how it looks. You're going to have your two dots before the double bar line, okay? Now here it is in a 4/4 time signature with 4 quarter notes in each measure. And then look here, we have a repeat sign. So if you're looking at the music and you're reading it, and it's no clef, so this is strictly rhythm, right? So we can clap our hands. You can join me. 1, 2, clap with me. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that, in essence, is how we would clap these quarter notes, okay? So if I take my little pen, and this time you can clap with me and I will point, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, clap with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Does that make sense? So you're going to repeat because you have the repeat sign, and it just cleans everything up instead of having multiple measures, okay? It lets the music have, you know, it just cleans everything up so that you don't have to see the same thing repetitive, okay? Does that make sense? Let me see what students are saying here. Yes, it is a double bar line, Abdul, way to go. And you use it in MuseScore, okay? That is a notation software free for all music students. So if you want to compose some music, write out some rhythm patterns, do a little melody, you can use MuseScore, okay? All right, so we're going to move along, okay? So now here is When the Saints Go Marching In, okay? And it's a little sophisticated. You're going to notice some things in this score that we haven't really talked about, okay? But for the most part, you should be able to follow along. So if I was to take my highlighter, right? So we're going to start here. Okay, and we'll and in actuality, this is a grand staff. You should know about that. We talked about the grand staff because you have the treble clef and the bass clef. So you're reading both clefs, right? This is a piano score. You're going to read both clefs. So I'm highlighting both clefs, right? And then you're going to keep reading as I'm highlighting the music so that you know how to follow. And then right here, if you can see measure, what does that say? 14. Okay, you're going to come here and you're reading the bass clef as well. And then what happens? You see the repeat sign. So now you have to go right back to the beginning and play or follow along, follow along, follow along, and then you stop, okay? So that is how that would be played, or if you're following, meaning someone has given this music to you and you have to just follow along. Let me see if I can show this to you. Give me 1 second. I think I forgot to do that. Okay. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this for you so that you can see this in real time. I forgot to share this part of my screen. Hold on. Where are you? Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Where are you? Nope. Give me 1 second because you know it's always something. So hold on. Let me make an adjustment with my computer. I don't know. Oh, okay. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. Is it here? Can I use this? All right, maybe I could just, nope, I don't want to use that. All right, bear with me, bear with me. For some reason, okay, it's okay. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Okay, because you know how it goes, right? You know how it goes. All right, let's see if we can do this. Okay, can you see this okay? All right, so that was when the saints goes marching in, when the saints go marching in. And we're going to play that music here. Let's see if I can scroll down where the repeat sign is. Can you see that? All right, so I'm going to try to make sure that you can see this nice and clear. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so everyone listen, listen. We're going to follow the music, okay? And when it gets to the repeat sign, notice how it's going to go right to the beginning, okay? Here we go. Everyone listen. And you can let me know if you hear everything, okay? Oh, hold on. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give a metronome and a count in, okay? So that everyone is in sync, okay? Here we go. We're the band. All right, okay, get ready, musicians. Okay, watch what's gonna happen. The repeat sign. See how it repeated? Good. And the bass clef is playing chords. Okay, we're coming to the end. What do you think is going to happen? Do we repeat again? Okay, so there you have it, okay? So that is an example of what we were talking about with the repeat sign, okay? Does that make sense? All right, you can let me know if everything makes sense, okay? So I wanted to give you an example of what that would look like, okay, when you're reading, okay? And so that is just one of many examples. Okay, so now when you see the repeat sign, it means to go back to the beginning and play or sing the music again. And here you can see I have highlighted. You go back to the beginning and repeat, okay? All right, good. It makes sense 2-for-1. So now since Abdul enjoys karaoke and singing, this one is for you, Abdul. Now, of course, I can't hear you, and not just for Abdul, for everyone watching, okay? So I don't want to make anyone feel excluded, okay? So we're going to sing solfege, right? And solfege is an ear training exercise that uses syllables like do, re, mi, okay? And you might know the movie The Sound of Music, and they have the song called Do, Re, Mi, right? And so anyway, we're going to have a little fun with this simple melody. And so let me just go over the syllable, the solfege syllables. So we have do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. Okay, and I can say it again. I'll say it slower. We have do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. Okay? All right. So instead of singing lyrics, we're singing solfege syllables. And this way, you kind of remove the lyrics so that your ear can really just work on the notes, the pitch, okay? So we're in the key of C, right? We haven't really talked about key signature, but in this case, we're just using all of the white keys, okay? Just so that it gives some substance. So here is do. Do. All right, let me hear you try to sing that with me. Do. Good. Okay, I'm going to assume that you're kind of singing right along with me, okay? Okay, so now we have me, right? So we're going to go to me. We're going to skip re and go to me. In fact, I should have you tell me the letter names, but we'll come back to that. So we have do, mi, right? So can you sing that? Do, mi. Good. Okay. I can almost hear you right in my ear. Okay. And then we're going to go to the next measure, re, fa. Okay. So you hear that? So let's do measures 1 and 2. So we have do, mi, re, fa. All right, now we're going to do measures 3, and what you see is mi, sol. Okay, and you should know your measures here. Here is measure 3. Okay, and if you need me to write the measure numbers, please let me know. Okay, and if I'm going too fast, you can just say, Miss Christine, I'm confused. I don't know what you're talking about. A measure from a solfege syllable. Nothing is connecting, and I can slow my boat and make it make sense for you, okay? And also, some of these exercises that we're talking about or concepts are in previous lessons, so I can't stress enough the importance of reviewing those lessons, okay? All right, so we had do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol. So that was measure 3, mi, sol. All right, and now we're going to do the last 2 measures, okay? Measures 4, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures, okay? So we're going to do measures 5 and measure 6. So we have fa, re, do. Sing it with me. Fa, re, do. Good. Now we're going to put it all together. Are you ready? 1, 2, sing with me. Do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. Good. Let's do it again. 1, 2, sing with me. Do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. Good. All right. Now, since we have that simple melody, right? What do we do? What do we do with the music? We did this beautiful, simple melody, nothing too special. But now what do we have to do? Okay? So yes, and you can sing it an octave lower. Absolutely, Abdul, okay? All right. So my question was, here we have this melody, right? We have how many bars or measures in our one-line melody? We have measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, measure 4, measure 5. But what happens at the end? We have a repeat sign. So what do we have to do? Okay? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I'm going to have you tell me, okay? I'm going to have you tell me, okay? And Abdul is saying hello, Mobile Music. So polite here. I appreciate our warm gestures here in the music room. Okay, Abdul went ahead of me and already gave me the letter name, so I will come back to that, Abdul, okay? So my question back to our lesson is, once we sing that nice simple melody, we have to go back to the beginning, okay? So let's do it and honor the repeat sign now that we know this simple solfege exercise. I'll call it an exercise, okay? So we have, now we're going to do the whole thing, and so we're going to repeat it. Okay, thank you, Abdul. I do see that. All right, 1, 2, sing with me. Do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. And then we're going to repeat. Do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. All right, so there you go. There you go. Now, let's hear that. Let's hear that, because it's nice to sing it, but let's have a sense of like anchor us, okay? So that we can see it in real time, okay? And that means with the notation, okay? So let's see what's going on with my computer again. Okay. I tell you, I don't know. Okay, here we go. All right, and if you have your keyboard or your guitar, all right, you can play this simple melody with me. Here I'm going to add my count in and the metronome, okay? Actually, you can only put one in. So we're going to do the count in. All right, here we go. Follow along. Wait, I forgot to add my repeat sign there. So because there was no repeat, it did not repeat, okay? But that was just a little sample of what we were able to sing, and then you could see it in the notation. Does everyone understand what we're doing here, okay? Does everyone understand how when you see the repeat, whether you're singing or playing, you have to go back to the beginning, play that whole line or whatever the section is, and then you either finish because you have a double bar line, or sometimes the music tells us to do something else. Okay, give me a thumbs up if everything is making sense, okay? If everything is making sense, thumbs up, then I know I can move forward. I really don't want to move forward unless I know everyone has some clarity, right? We want it to make sense. Okay. All right. So I'll give a couple of seconds. Okay. Where's my sound effects? I don't even know if things are working today. So let me get my sound effects. Let's go. Let's go. I feel like a cheerleader. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. Actually, it's like rhythm, right? Okay. How many of you out there are cheerleaders? Okay. Maybe was in the past or is now or would desire to be. I was not a cheerleader in high school. I was a music kid. I was the music kid. Okay. But no shame. Okay. I love our cheerleaders. Okay. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Good. Thank you, Mobile Music. Okay. So let's move along. Now, listen, okay? So repeat signs sometimes appear in pairs, okay? Pairs meaning two, okay, within a piece, all right? So pay attention. Let me give a little check there. Oh, no, we don't want green on green. Okay, give me a color for my pen. All right, give me a color. All right, so I could have my little pen. The first repeat sign will then have the two dots placed after, okay, after the double bar line, okay? So before we talked about the repeat being where were our notes? We talked about it being before, but now we have it after, okay? So no, I'm not trying to confuse you, but there's some variations, okay? All right, so I see orange. Okay, so I'm going to use orange. Okay, Abdul, you said red. Oh boy, who was that? Orange. Mobile Music kind of beat you to it. So next time, or I can actually use two colors if I want. All right, so let's do an orange color. So here we have repeat sign sometimes appears in pairs within a piece of music. So that means you're going to see a pair of repeat signs within the music. You're not going to just see one repeat sign. Sometimes there will be two, okay? And the first repeat sign will have two dots placed after, someone's at the door. So if you hear Alexa telling me someone's at the door, Welcome to Live in the Music Room. Okay, so so the two dots placed after the double bar line, okay? So I'll use red since we have two colors, okay? When this occurs, return to the first repeat sign at the beginning of the section. Now, this can be confusing for some students, okay? But try not to get confused, okay? So let's look at the music. First of all, we have measure 1, okay? We have measure 2. I'm going to just count out the measures to make it make sense. I know you know how to count measures, but maybe someone out there needs some help. That's supposed to be a 3. Okay, measure 4, measure 5, okay, and of course I'm using my mouse, and measure 6, and I'll circle them. Okay, does everybody understand that so far? We understand that measures are divided by these bar lines, okay? Bar lines organizes the music into measures, okay? So we talked about that, and I can't remember what lesson, but we have a lesson on that. Now, once you're reading through, let's get the highlighter. So you're reading through, and then, you see the repeat sign. So we've been going all the way to the beginning, but now you have to go back. It says go back to the sign, the repeat sign, and repeat. So now you have to go to measure 2 and then continue and finish. Okay, let me say that again slowly. So you're reading the music, right? You're going, and then you get to the repeat sign. And you don't go to measure 1. You now find where the other measure is. I'm sorry, the other repeat sign is, okay? And then you start there and finish, okay? Does that make sense? Okay? So you start at measure 1. You go all the way until you see the repeat sign, and then you find the first repeat, and then you continue, okay? And I have a notation software to demonstrate, okay? So in this case, this is similar to the melody that we just sang together, right? We did, but there's a slight little change here because measures. Actually, I realized I miscounted. Hold on. I miscounted and no one caught that. See? You got to help me out here. It's been a long, long day. Okay, so this is measure 2, right? Here's measure 3, and here's measure 4. Here's measure 5. Here's measure 6, and here's measure 7. Let me double check that, make sure I'm not overlooking my measures. Yep. Okay, now I got it. Okay, my apologies. Okay, my apologies. I've got a lot of windows open here, so I apologize. So here we go. So we have measure 1 on do, measure 2 on do, measure 3 on do, and then do, mi, right? We have 2 quarter notes here. So do, 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 mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. Let me say it a little slower. We have do, 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 mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. Okay? All right. So you want to sing it, or would you like to listen to the notation? Okay? So we can listen to the notation too. Okay? So that you can see how this simple 7 measure, okay? I skipped a measure. 7 measure piece is going to repeat at this set of at this repeat sign, okay? So you have a pair of repeats, and you're going to continue all the way to measure 7 to be corrected, okay? And then you're going to go here and then continue to the end, okay? All right, Abdul, everyone watching, did I confuse you, or does that make sense? Okay, yes, makes sense? Okay, all right. So you can let me know, okay? Don't be bashful, please. This is how we all learn. I get to learn what works for you, and you can tell me if it makes sense, okay? We're working it out together. Okay, so here is the notation, right? Hopefully you can see it, right? And I will put the metronome and the count in on so that we are all in sync, meaning we start and end together, okay? This is a 2/4 time signature. You should know what 2/4 time signature means. Every measure is going to have 2 beats, right? And we know the 4 at the bottom is letting us know that the quarter note is getting the beat, okay? All right, so here we go. Let's listen. Watch the repeat. Where does it go? Good. You notice that? Good. I'm going to play that again, okay? Because now we're looking at a pair of repeat signs, right? So it went from one repeat sign now to 2, okay? It's like, oh my goodness, what more do we need to know? But it's not too complicated. Okay, let's listen again, okay? I may play it 2 more times so that you can see how everything is working together. And yes, they could have written this whole thing out, but they didn't want to do that. It's kind of like a shorthand. If you remember shorthand writing, right? There's abbreviations and different things. This is just a cleaner way to make the music or write the music or read the music. Here we go. Good. Good, you can hear our melody. Good, okay. Any questions? Any questions about that? Okay. All right, let's see. All right, any questions? I see Abdul saying this it's my first time learning the new repeat sign. Okay, Abdul. Well, I'm hopefully explaining it clearly for you, okay? I do my best. I'm not perfect. But you let me know if something needs some clarification. You only know the usual one. Okay, yes, a lot of times, we don't always see the pair, right? We don't always see it. But yes, I want to kind of expose you to all possibilities. Sometimes music, it just has the one repeat. Sometimes it has pairs. And then you'll hear, we're going to talk about first and second inning. Okay, let me give my check there. Okay, so Abdul and all the rest of you that are watching, does everything make sense? Okay, so if we were to sing this as a group, we know that we would sing do, do. So we have do, do, and then we're here on measure 3. I'm kind of playing and using my mouse at the same time, not always easy. And then we have do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do, do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, re, do. And that's pretty much how we would sing this line, okay? Very, very simple. All right, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on. Where are my cheerleaders? Come on, cheerleaders, let's go. Let's go. I need my pom-poms or something. Let's go. All right, you got to have fun, right? You have to have fun. All right, yes, it makes sense, 2 for 1. Okay, yes, ma'am, now it does. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, now, I don't mean to add more to what you're learning already, right? I want to kind of do things in bite sizes, but there's more learning, okay? And so there is another way of indicating a repeat sign. I mean, I thought we were good with the 1. Okay, I thought we were good with the 2, but now, Miss Christine, there's another way. I mean, come on, right? I can hear you saying that. All right. But yes, there's another way to indicate a repeat, and that is with first and second endings, okay? And I'll kind of put a circle around it, okay? Now, for those of you who are lovers of sports, I don't know, maybe sports makes a connection for you. First ending, second ending, right? I think baseball has that, right? Don't, I'm not the most athletic type person, but I do like sports. And I know we have basketball is in quarters, right? First quarter, second quarter. And so similar to music, okay, not to compare music with sports, but there's always some form of similarity with the things that we do in everyday life. Okay, so here we go. Another way of indicating a repeat is with first and second endings. So number one, let's put a circle around number one and let's listen carefully. Play or sing through the first ending to the repeat. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to repeat myself. Play or sing through the first ending to the repeat sign, okay? And we can do that. So let's do number one. So let's pretend we're just sight reading, or in this case, just looking at the notes, right? Sight singing or sight reading is looking at music that you've never seen before, and you either play it or sing it, okay? I'm not going to ask you to do that, even though I know you should be able to know the letter names of these notes. So here in measure 1 and measure 2, measure 3, measure 4, measure 5, and measure 6, we see all kind of interesting things here. So we see a first ending, right? And this is what we mean by that, okay? Let me see if I can highlight this. Okay, this little bracket, okay, that's how they call or draw their first ending. And so you go back to the beginning. So you're going to play or sing, and then, and look, I like right here, it says on the repeat, skip to the second ending. We didn't get there yet. So we're playing. Let me draw my highlight. We're doing our thing. And then we have our repeat. So let's keep going through our steps here so I don't confuse anyone. So then we have to go back to the beginning, okay? So now we have to go back to the beginning. First, we had to play or sing through to the first ending to the repeat, which is right here. And then step 2 tells us to go back to the beginning. All right, so let's go back. We're singing. We get to the repeat. Then it says, go back to the beginning. Okay, go back to the beginning. All right. Now, the audio is kind of low. Okay. All right. I'll check that out. Okay. And so number 3 is telling us when repeating, skip the first ending and play the second. Okay. Let me say that again. When you go back to the beginning, right, you have to skip the first ending because we already did the first ending, and then go to the second ending. So now let's take our little marker, our pen, and let's kind of make sense of this. So here is red. So red, we're going to go through, we're singing, we're singing, we're singing. We get to the repeat sign, and let's go with a blue color. Right? So that now we get to the repeat sign. We go back to the beginning. Here's blue, right? Okay. So we go back to the beginning, but when repeating, we have to skip the first ending. So here we go. And now when we get here, it says on the repeat, skip to the second ending. And then you go here, okay? And then, of course, the double bar line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this to you in the notation because it can feel a little confusing. You have all of this going on, but try not to get confused, okay? Let me erase this, okay? And I'm going to show you on the notation, okay? Because I think that will give it better understanding, and you can let me know, okay? So when you get here, you start at the beginning, measure 1, you go all the way to the repeat sign. Now on the second time when you're repeating, you go and then you skip the first ending and you go to the second. Okay. All right. So let's see what our students are saying before I let you hear that. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Yes, Abdul. Let's go. Okay. I had a iOS site singing app. Oh, you sucked at it. Okay. I'm not familiar. What kind of Apple app are you referring to? Okay. And now we have Mark 7503. Hello, Mark. And you're telling me the audio is kind of low? Oh, okay. When I played the notation. Okay. I will work on that. Because, if you're new, Mark, every time I come on live, either the audio doesn't play. So if it's low, that's probably very good for me. But I can try to work on my volume so that you can hear it a little bit better. And thank you, Mark. Okay, thank you for saying hello and letting me know the audio is low. Please like, subscribe, and come back. Okay, please come back. Yes, let's welcome. Thank you, 2-for-1. Okay, so now let me get back to what I was doing here. Okay, so let's see, because I'm doing a lot over here. Okay, so let's see if I can show this to you. Okay, all right, can everyone see? Now, Mark said the audio was kind of low, so let me see if I can do something. So it looks like, if you guys can see this, I'm working the volume here. I don't know if there's much I can do. And this is why I ask you all to please tell me what's going on, because I don't know. And I will talk and be on mute and not know it, right? Okay. All right. Well, let's see how it goes, Mark. Okay. And then you can let me know. All right. All right. So here we have that music. Okay. With our repeat. Okay. And let's see. Is this my example here? I think, let me just make sure. Okay, let me just make sure nothing is, okay. Okay, now let's see here. Did you hear that? Okay. Did you hear that? Okay. All right, Mark, you can let me know if the audio was still low, okay? I'm going to play that a couple of times, okay? Let me get my little, oh, I can't even sign, I have to sign in. Oh, boy. All right, let's try this. All right, I wanted to get my little pen, but it's not letting me do that to make a quick notation. But that's okay. So we have our measure here, okay? And this is note C going to D, so that would be do, re, mi, right? C, D, E. That's the letter names of the treble clef, lines and spaces of the treble clef. That's what I'm doing here. And then measure 2, we have D, E, F. So that's re, mi, fa, okay? And then we have E, D, C, okay? Mi, re, do. And then we have here a whole note, which is right below the first line, which is note D, which would be our re in solfege. Okay, and then measure the second ending, we have E, D, C, mi, re, do. So what's going to happen when we start here at measure 1? We're going to play till we get to the repeat sign, right? And then what do we have to do? We have to what? Look at number 2. Go to the beginning. Go to the beginning. Okay, so now we have to go to our beginning right here. And then what happens when we go to the beginning? Let's go to step 3. Step 3 says when repeating, we have to skip the first ending and play the second. Okay, so now we're going to go here. We're still here, but we're going to play. We're skipping the second ending and going here. Mi, re, do. Okay, let's play that a couple of times. Are you ready? Oh, let me do my count in and my metronome here so that we're in sync. Okay, here we go. Get ready. Good. Look at it. Go into the beginning. Okay, get ready. It's going to skip the first ending. All right, let's listen to that 2 more times, okay? All right, so here we go. Get ready. Measure 1, measure 2. First ending. Go into the repeat, go back to the beginning. Second measure. Skip first ending, go to second ending. All right, this time I'm not going to talk. Last time, listen, listen. Any questions? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Mi, re, do, re. You can sing along. Do, re, mi, re, fa, sol. I'm trying to talk and sing at the same time, and I got to get my solfege correct. Okay, so that's do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, mi, re, do, re. Okay, mi, and then the second ending is mi, re, do. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's see if any students have any questions. Did I confuse you? Did I confuse you? I hope I didn't. I really try not to. Okay, let's see. Mark says this. Okay, maybe that was an error. Yes, you think the app, I think you're talking about the app, Abdul, is called Sight Sing. Okay, so I got to look into that. And you like the melody. Okay, good, Abdul. Thank you for that. All right, so does everyone have a understanding of first and second ending? It can feel a little, you got to get used to, where does the first ending begin, and then when you go back to the beginning, where does the second ending begin and then finish out? But trust me, it's like driving a car. If you know how to drive, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Okay, the better you get at it. All right. Any questions for me before we do our class play? Okay, before we do our class play. All right. Okay, let me give you like 30 seconds to kind of give me some questions because, I'll move along. Okay, come on. Time to move our shoulders. Right? It's time to work. Work in our minds. Yes, I'm excited when I start moving my shoulders. No, I'm not a dancer. I'm a wannabe dancer, though. Okay? We have 4 seconds. Okay, I don't think there are any questions, so that's okay. All right, good, good, good. All right, so let's have some fun, okay? We're almost finished with our class today. So we have a class play, all right? And for those of you who are watching, and Mark, and those of you who haven't said hello, that's okay, all right? So I want you to rewrite the following example using a repeat sign. That's what the instructions are asking us to do. Rewrite the following example using a repeat sign, okay? And so you should already know what a repeat sign looks like. We've been talking about it. Now let's look at this exercise, okay? Notice that we have a different clef. Here we were looking at the treble clef, right? And now what are we looking at? Okay, those of you who have been with me for I don't know how long, you should know that that is the bass clef, and it's also known as the F clef. Okay, so it has 2 names, and the reason we talked about the reason why we call it the F clef is because those 2 dots, similar to a repeat sign, right? You have 2 dots in the repeat and you have 2 dots in the bass clef. Go figure, right? But those 2 lines split the F line, okay? The F line is on that 4th line here. I can highlight the 4th line, okay? All right, so we have measures 1 here, okay? Then we have measure 2, okay? Then we have measure 3. And I'm just drawing like little rectangular boxes. And then we have measure, what number is this? Measure 4. Okay. And then look, we already have a measure 5. The music was kind to us to let us know that that was measure 5 for people like me who inadvertently miscount the measures, right? Has that ever happened to you? Okay. All right. All right. So we have measure 5 here, and then we have measure 6. Okay. And then measure 7 and measure 8. Okay. So you see how I'm highlighting, and then we have our double bar lines that we talked about. Okay, so because it's 8 measures, right? We might say, oh no, I really don't want to look at 8 measures, you know. Could we condense this? It's just, I want to make it a little bit easier to look at, easier to read. So they want us to rewrite it and put it in how many measures? Measures 1, measure 2, measure 3, and measure 4. Of course, there is no bar line or anything because we have to add that information using a repeat sign, okay? Does everyone understand what the instructions are asking us to do, or the directions? Okay, so we're going to work on this together as a class. All right, so this means some class engagement, some participation. Okay, class participation. Normally, I would give points to students for class participation, but I just can give you sound effects that are low. I'm teasing. Hopefully, they're not low. Mark said it was low, so I'm being funny. Okay, I'm erasing my highlights so that you can really see the music, okay? So give me a moment. Are you still with me? Everyone is still with me? Okay, good, good, good. And I was going to put this on my whiteboard, but we'll work with this for now. Okay, so first of all, we have to rewrite. So what are we rewriting? Okay, so the first thing I would suggest that you do is we counted all of our measures. We know that there are 8 total measures. So here we have measure 1. We have measure 2, and everything. We have 4 quarter notes because there's a 4/4 time signature. And then measure 3, we have 2 half notes. Measure 2, we have 2 half notes. And then measure 4, we have a whole note. But notice measure 5. There is a pattern. Music is full of patterns, okay? So do you see a pattern here? Measure 5 looks very much like measure 1, right? And then look at measure 6. Measure 6 looks very much like measure 2, right? Do you see that? Okay, that's my little 6, not the best 6. Measure 7 looks very much like measure what? 3. Good. 3, 3, 3. Okay, that's my 3. Nothing is looking too good today with my writing. Okay, and then look, measure 8 is looking like measure 4, okay? So do you see the parallel here? Yes, I know you do, okay? And of course, since I have blue, I'm going to change this to black since we're rewriting, right? And we'll try to honor the music in black and white, okay? So measure 1, we're going to rewrite measure 1 right here. So can anyone tell me the letter name of this space note that's in the 3rd space on the bass clef? Okay, do you remember your lines and spaces of the bass clef? You might remember, I don't know, I think Abdul is coming in with some letter names, G, B, D, F, A, okay, so here we go. So this is a space note, right? It's on the 3rd space, and you might remember all cows eat grass. That was something that I shared with you if you want to remember. Everyone learns differently, but this is on the 3rd space. So I'm going to add my note head and my stem, which is down to the left. And we talked about stem direction, right? Because it is above the 3rd line, and notes that live or are above the 3rd line, they go down to the left, okay? So we have an E note here, all cows eat, okay? And then we have a line note here, so on the 3rd line. So what are the line notes of the bass clef? Do you remember the sentence? You can come up with any sentence, or you don't have to remember a sentence, okay? Whatever you want. But we talked about a lot of variations. So we had good boys do, right? And so this is on the third line, D, okay? You can come up with any way to remember the line notes in the bass clef. So we have our stem right there going down to the left, and then it's stepping up to a space note, right? So this is E, like the first note, okay? So here we have, we know our music alphabets. That's the wonderful thing. We have note E here. Then we went down to D because we have the music alphabet, the first 7 letters of the alphabet. Then we go up, what letter comes after D, right? Or we have E, D, and then we have E. And then we're up to F, okay? So now we're going to put here E, and now we're going to go here to our note head on the 4th line. Okay, and put our F. Okay, so that is rewriting measure 1. Now we're going to rewrite measure 2. We have a space note. It's on the 4th space. We should know that that is note G. All cows eat grass, as we talked about in our previous lesson. It is a space note. That's our note head. We don't call it a circle. We call it a note head, and the stem down. Now, of course, I'm on using my mouse to draw, so my lines are so crooked. Okay, and then here we have a space note on the 3rd space, right? So notice we see that already. That should be note E. Okay, let me put my E here, and we said that this is note G. Another way of reading it is this is a line note stepping up to a space note. And you know what letter, if you know your musical alphabet, or any English alphabet here, the note after F comes G, okay? And so here we're going to add our note E, and we're going to put our stem down, okay? Now let's go to measure 3. Here we have 2 half notes, right? But now it's on the 2nd space. What would be the letter name? Well, we know the first space is A for all, and the 2nd space is C. Okay, so we're going to put our note head. Notice that the stem is up to the right, and that is because it is below the 3rd line. Okay, so this is note C, this is note C. And we're going to put our stem up to the right, okay? And we have another note C. Note head on the 2nd space, up to the right, our stem. Here is measure 4. And we have a whole note, right? And it's on the 2nd space, just like measure 3. But this time we're holding it for 4 beats because of our time signature. So this is note C. And we're going to put C on the 2nd space. But now we have to honor measures 5, 6, 7, and 8 by doing what? Adding a repeat sign. So we know we have to have a double bar line, right? So I'm going to kind of add my double bar line. I'm going to kind of make it a little thick. Okay, don't judge me because I'm using a mouse, but that's okay. And then we're going to put our repeat sign. Can you see my little dots there? Okay, and this tells us to go all the way to the beginning so that we can end with the double bar line, okay? Does everyone see how we figured this out? Yes? Okay, all right, because you know what? Next week, when we come back and live in the music room, we're going to do some more reviewing, okay? And I'm going to bring some more exercises so that we have a good grasp of those repeat signs with the pair, right? With the first and second ending, right? We talked about that, okay? So let's do a quick recap before we say our goodbyes, okay? So you already know what a double bar line is. That's very important so that you can better understand the repeat sign, okay? Because you start with your double bar line and then you have your repeat sign there, your 2 dots that sit there. Here I have the 2 dots placed before the double bar line to indicate a repeat sign, right? Then we did our rhythm exercises in a 4/4 time signature, right? We listened to When the Saints Go Marching In. We followed along. This is a beginner piano score. And then when we got to the repeat sign, we knew we had to go back to the beginning, right? I could just put a little smiley face and go, repeat, please. Right? Okay. And we talked about when you see the repeat sign, you go back to the beginning. We were able to have some fun singing solfege syllables, this simple melody, right? And then we talked about pairs, right? Sometimes you're going to see music with pairs. You're going to see repeat signs in pairs within the music, and you have to know what to do. And so when you see that, the first repeat sign will then have the 2 dots placed after, in this case, after the double bar line, right here. And when that occurs, you return to the first repeat sign at the beginning of the section. We talked about that. And then we talked about first and second endings. That's another way to indicate a repeat, okay? So first you sing through the first ending to the repeat sign, singing, 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 singing to the first repeat sign. Then you go back to the beginning, but what happens? Wait a minute. You have to skip the first ending and play the second, right? Okay, so we talked all about that, and then that brought us to our class play. So we covered so much in today's lesson. Let me go ahead and give you a round of applause for a job well done, okay? Come on and pat yourself on the back, okay? You have to encourage yourself to keep on keeping on, all right? So I am so excited for your progress today. I really, really am. Let me say a hello and a thank you to everyone that's watching here live, that's watching the replay. Come on, I really do appreciate that. I truly, truly do. Let me go ahead and encourage you to like and subscribe, okay? I can't stress that enough. I do have all the worksheets up for Unit 3, okay? We just completed Unit 3, okay? And so we're in now Unit 4. Let me see if I can share with you all the courses that we worked on so far. Hold on. Let's see if things are working. Okay, so here is our YouTube channel, right? As you know, because you're here. Okay, and go to the courses, right? And so here we have Unit 1 in red, Unit 2 in orange, Unit 3 in yellow, and now Unit 4 in green. And they're color-coded deliberately, okay? So that everything is nice and organized for you. Okay, so the resources are there. I'm going to be uploading all of Unit 3. They are free. Okay, no expectations of monetary. Not asking you to donate. I mean, people do that, and I appreciate that, and I'm a big believer in giving. But I'm giving freely. I'm not expecting anything in return, other than a like, right? And I don't think that's much to ask. A thumbs up or a subscribe of some sort. But the resources are there for you, okay, to edify you and to challenge you to look at the music differently, or maybe learn a new concept, something that you've never done before. Okay, any questions for me before I say my goodbyes? Okay, any questions? Okay, please let me know. Abdul, 2 for 1, Mark, the rest of you that are watching, any questions? Okay, and if there are no questions, let me just say a thank you. Happy Friday. Go do something wonderful for yourself, and continue to keep music in your heart. That's what it's really all about. I come every Saturday, typically Saturday, not Fridays. Saturday, 10:45 Eastern Standard Time, here live in the music room, as I mentioned, Miss Christine, okay? I do a lot of things, not just music, but music is truly my core. It's really where it just fills me up. And if I can share that love with you, then it's all right with me, okay? So I want to say thank you. Have a wonderful day. Continue to keep music in your heart, and I'll see you in the next lesson. I'm going to say bye for now. Oops.